Well, hello everyone. My name is Mark Boyle and I'm with Hello High Fat Diet, and this will be my first diet review. So what I want to do is kind of look at some of the diets available out there for people to join or follow, and kind of give you my take on how they work and whether you should try them or not. So I don't give diet advice. I'm not a dietitian, and I don't want to get into trouble with Big Brother. What I do is just look at the science that we have available to us out there and draw some conclusions and let you kind of decide for yourself. That's how the whole website is set up, because I'm not a doctor. So I hope these diet reviews kind of help you kind of look at each diet that's provided and see if maybe it's something for you, and maybe it'd be something to help you with weight loss or health or nutrition. So let's dig into numeral uno of the diet review, and today we're going to be looking at Weight Watchers. So this is my high-tech teleprompter. I'm going old school here because I don't have a teleprompter, and without my glasses on I wouldn't be able to see it anyway. Okay, so the overview of Weight Watchers is that you kind of eat whatever you want, but in moderation. And so it's not limited to their foods that they provide for you or a set of foods that they say you can and can't eat. It's pretty much anything. And like I said, just in moderation. So that's kind of cool. It is a very low-fat type of diet plan, and they don't want you eating a lot of fat. So it's a high carb, low fat diet. It's lean protein, so they want you eating lean protein without the fat on it, which it makes sense with their model, I guess. And then it's lots of fruits and vegetables, which to me is pretty much in keeping with the standard of the American Medical Association and the FDA and all the science that's been coming out for the last 40 years. So they haven't gone outside the box in any way, shape, or form on this diet. I watched a lot of videos on Weight Watchers. I watched a lot of fail and a lot of success videos. And it seems to be pretty well split. If you follow the diet, there were a lot of people that had great success with it and a lot of them that did not. So that's kind of inconclusive, and they are among one of the best diets out there according to all the media hype, but you can buy that all day long. So that's why I watched a lot of videos just to see, you know, how people were doing and how they felt about it. So how it works is you start out with SmartPoints, and they have a calculator online that you can figure out how many points you get each day, and that would be kind of like your calories, but you get 30 points or 28 points in a day, and then each thing you eat is assigned a point value, and it subtracts off of your total points each day. That way, if you decide you want to go to Applebee's and have lunch, Applebee's menu actually has Weight Watcher points on it. So when you look at the menu, you can go, oh, that's 15 points. Subtract that from your total points, and then you know what are left at the end of the day. So it really is calorie counting, but with a little bit different of a macro system set up with it. You get a planner to where you can plan your meals for the week and kind of lay everything out. And it's got a lot of cool pages in it and looks pretty neat for what that's worth. They have weekly meetings. So you can attend weekly meetings, and there's usually someone from Weight Watchers there, plus all the other people in it. So it's a support group to help you answer questions and such. And then they have an online website that has a lot of calculators in it, I think, and then also an app. And I didn't see too many of the videos to where they were raving about the app, but that doesn't mean it's not good. I think that the plan itself is pretty simple, and once you figure it out, you probably don't need all that stuff. But the meetings were kind of cool. So the math is basically, like I said, it's macro based. And so they have percentages of, carbs, sugars, fats, and all that, and the percentages. And I didn't write that down because I think it's irrelevant. You can go on their website and see their macro system, but they really don't go into the macro of it so much. They go into the points. So your daily points for each individual would be 2 points for female, 8 points for a male. And then they assign 4 points if you're 17 to 26, 3 points 27 to 37, 2 points for 38 to 47, and 1 point for 48 to 58. So I don't know what happens when you turn 59. 1 point per 10 pounds of body weight. And then plus 1 point if you're 5'1" to 5'10", 2 points if you're over 5'10", and then 6 points for your labor intensity. So 2 points for moderate and 0 points for sedentary, and then I guess there would be 6 points if you consider yourself extremely active and busy, maybe if you're a logger. So then you add up the points, and that's what you basically get per week or per day to eat. And I did that, and it came up with close to 30 points for me. Everyone's going to be different depending on your weight and your height and your age and all that. So basically what they're doing is they're basing that on your RMR, your resting metabolism rate or metabolic rate, and then they're taking all the same things, your weight, your height, your age, and then the multiplier is your activity or your physical activity number, which is all online for your RMR, and then also your TDEE, I think, total daily energy expenditure. So they've just kind of condensed it into a different way of looking at it. So it's points instead of just knowing how many calories you need. So the food calculations are like calories are divided by 50. The grams of fat are divided by 12. So your example would be 150 calories divided by 50 would be 3. If you had 7 grams of fat, you divide that by 12, you end up with 0. So the points on that meal or that thing you ate would be 3. Your dietary fiber, grams divided by 5, and then you subtract that sum from the total. So it'd be 3 minus 0 would be 3. I think it makes sense mathematically. I just didn't really get into the numbers that much because I thought, well, it really is calorie counting, and they're telling you what calories to count. So a person's weekly points are based on really RMR, height, weight, age, and then you add the multiplier, which we kind of went over there. I have an article on Hello High Fat Diet, which is weight control, and it kind of goes over them numbers and how you use them with a calculator or a spreadsheet. So you can go there and check that out. So some of the pros and cons is that you do have support groups, which is a good thing for a lot of people. They need, you can get on Facebook and there's a lot of groups there, but it kind of tends to be the blind leading the blind, and you're only getting responses from other people that may be as confused as you or more. So in the support groups, like I said, there's usually someone there from Weight Watchers, at least, that has a lot more knowledge. So that would be a good thing. They have the mobile app. The SmartPoints are on many of the restaurant menus because they have a deal with that. And then you can follow Weight Watchers without signing up, which I thought was kind of a plus, because you don't have to sign up and go to the meetings and use their apps and all that. you can do all this by yourself, and yet you can still follow the point system and all that without being out any money at all. So that's kind of a plus. And then some of the cons, I think it allows for far too many snacks during the day, because your points, if you're eating certain meals and you're not using your points, because there's a lot of fruit, which they don't count as any points if you're eating fruit, which is still very high in calories and carbohydrates. Then at the end or during your day, you go, well, gee, I still got 20 points left because I ate all this other stuff that didn't really count against my points, so I'm going to have a snack. And then you can make your own snacks and you follow the point system. So it doesn't really help with a food addiction and an eating addiction. And it doesn't really help with feeling full or the cessation that you would want to get from eating correctly. So I didn't like that. Whole grains are lower in points while fat is higher in points, which once again, that goes back to the failed model of the 7-country study. And it just doesn't work, and it's a failed model. And yet over 40 years, everyone knows it's failed and it was inaccurate, but yet they continue to shovel this down our throats. Fruits and vegetables are 0 points if eaten, but they are points if you blend them. And I think the math or their thought or thinking process in this was that if you eat a fruit, it's going to take you longer. So you might eat an apple and then peel an orange. That all takes time. Whereas if you blend it all up and then just slam a smoothie, they figure it hits your system faster, which is really not true, but that's their logic. So that's why they will have you subtract them points from your day if you're making smoothies and drinks. But if you're just eating them all throughout the day, then there's no points subtracted. And like I said, it's still very high in sugar with fruit. It's high in fructose. And so it still spikes your insulin. And when your insulin is high, you're not burning fat. So I think there's a little bit of a flaw in that thinking of theirs. And then fiber is negative. So if you eat a lot of fiber, then it actually helps you have more points, and then you can eat more stuff. And then the one thing I found is a very big negative is, and this is my own opinion, I'm not a dietitian, but it puts fats in with sweets and alcohol. And that seems to put it in a category that is a negative category for any diet you're on. Sweets and alcohol are usually not something you should be counting into your diet. Sweets are bad for you. And you can drink a little bit of alcohol. Hard liquor has no carbs in it at all. But it's still over there in that, oh, don't go over there column. And then they put fat in there, which I think is part of the failed math and science that they're using with this diet. So why would you take the diet? Like I said, all the pros in it is there's a lot of help and online support, especially if you're paying a monthly fee to get that access. I wouldn't do it just because I think Weight Watchers has been around long enough and they have enough money to maybe do their own studies and see what's working and what is not, and actually reevaluate the 7-country study that has really set us up for this fat bad, carbs good whole scenario for the last 40 years. And so if you're just a company starting out making a diet plan like a dietitian, then you might not have the money to do your own research or hire people to dig deeper and drill down into these studies. But Weight Watchers has been around for 40 plus years. And so they haven't looked outside the box to see if maybe they could do something more to help their people. And that to me is, since there is so much science that has proven that eating a high-fat diet can really work with helping you with diabetes and so many things, and there's so many facts out there now that if they're not going to look at them and they're not going to actually evaluate them with their deep pockets, then to me that just puts them into a sell my product scam as far as I'm concerned, because they do have the ability to help people more with their money and their research, and they're not doing it. So that is why I wouldn't do it. There's a lot of reasons why people that are trying to lose weight should do it, and you can only evaluate for yourself whether Weight Watchers would work for you. I hope this helped. If you have any comments, let me know. Send me an email. Just get a hold of me on Facebook. There's a Hello High Fat Diet page. There's the 20,000 Year Journey group. And let me know your thoughts. And also, let me know what you think of the diet review and what I could add to maybe make them a little better and not so generic in nature. I noticed there's a lot of diet reviews out there, but they all seem to just go through the normal talking points. So it's really just like an infomercial. So I wanted to kind of break it down for you and say, look, here's the math and this is what they're doing. And no matter who the diet is for or by, you still have to count calories. And they admit that in here because that's what they're doing. They're really taking your total daily energy expenditure and they're assigning it points based on whatever it was here. Their points are based on calories, sugar, protein, and saturated fat content. So you're still counting calories. It's just being done for you a little less complicated, only because they have the calculator online. But it's still, if you do the math yourself, it's just as complicated. So there you have it. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. I'd appreciate it. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next diet review. Oh, another thing I wanted to just bring out. I didn't attack Weight Watchers with my first review to get brownie points or to get clicks or to get views. It's just that it is one of the more popular diets. And so I wanted to get this out there first, because there's a lot of really good diets out there, but they're not diet plans. There's ketogenic diet, low carb, high fat diet, paleo diet, but those are more of a lifestyle, not a diet program with eat this, don't eat that things. And a lot of people look on Google and search and they go, oh, Weight Watchers, it's always going to come up in the top couple of your page results. And so I thought, I'm going to put this out first, and then we'll get through some of the bigger ones and then work our way down into some of the ones that work better. Once I get more of the diet reviews, then you can scan through them and pick the one that is important to you. But this was the first one, so I thought I would take on Weight Watchers just to let you know what it is and what it is not, and hopefully not seem like I'm attacking it, because that's not my point. It may work for you just like it did for all the videos I've seen. It may not, just like all the other videos. So only you can make that decision. You're an adult. Look it up yourself and figure it out. Have a good one. Bye-bye.